Hey everyone, I'm Sandra, a 28-year-old artist trying to carve out a life in the big city. Right now, I'm in my tiny studio apartment, surrounded by canvases and brushes, when my phone rings. It's my brother Michael, and I immediately know it can't be good news. Aunt Meredith's gone, Sandra. Heart attack. Just like that, my world shatters. Aunt Meredith wasn't just an aunt. She was my rock, my everything. When my parents were too caught up in their own chaos, she stepped in, becoming the mother I never had. I can still remember the first time she brought me to her antique shop. I was about 7, with scraped knees and messy pigtails. "This old chair has a story, Sandra," she would say, running her fingers over the worn wood of a Victorian piece. "Everything here does, just like you and me." She'd let me set up a little corner in the shop where I could draw and paint, and customers would stop and admire my childish scribbles. Aunt Meredith beamed with pride. "My little artist," she'd call me. As I grew up, the gap between me and my brothers, Michael, Thomas, and Daniel, widened. They never understood why Aunt Meredith and I were so close. They didn't see the hours we spent together, the way she encouraged my love for art while they were off doing their own thing. "Why don't you get a real job?" Thomas would sneer every time I mentioned my art. "Yeah, stop mooching off Aunt Meredith," Daniel would add. But Aunt Meredith always stood up for me. "Art is as real as it gets," she'd say. "Sandra's got a gift." Now, as I pack a small bag for her funeral, memories flood back. The smell of furniture polish, the jingle of the bell above the door, Aunt Meredith's warm laugh as she told me the stories behind each piece in her shop. I catch a glimpse of myself in the mirror, red-rimmed eyes, paint-stained hands. I look a mess, but I can almost hear Aunt Meredith's voice. "You're beautiful, Sandra, inside and out." My phone buzzes with messages from my brothers. They're already talking about Aunt Meredith's will and what she might have left behind. It makes me sick. Locking my apartment door, I take a deep breath. I'm not ready to face a world without Aunt Meredith, but I know she'd want me to be strong. Little do I know, the drama that's about to unfold will test that strength in ways I never imagined. The funeral home feels suffocating, filled with people I barely know and the heavy scent of flowers and tension. I stand alone, away from my brothers who are huddled together, whispering and shooting glances my way. "Look at her, acting all innocent," I hear Michael mutter. I bite my lip, fighting back tears. This is about Aunt Meredith, not them. The lawyer, Mr. Simmons, clears his throat. We are gathered to read the last will and testament of Meredith Anderson. My heart races. He mentions small donations to charities. Then, and to my beloved niece, Sandra Anderson, I leave my antique shop, Meredith's Treasures, including all its contents and business assets. The room erupts. Thomas leaps to his feet, face red with anger. This is ridiculous. She manipulated Aunt Meredith. Daniel joins in. Sandra's been taking advantage of her for years. This isn't fair. Mr. Simmons raises his hands, trying to calm them. "Gentlemen, this was Miss Anderson's express wish." I'm stunned, barely registering the chaos around me. The shop. Aunt Meredith left me the shop. I'm suddenly transported back to a quiet evening there, just a few months ago. She was polishing an old mirror, her expression wistful. "You know, Sandra, I always wanted children of my own," she said softly, her voice tinged with regret. I hugged her tightly. "You've been more of a mother to me than anyone." Her eyes welled up. "And you've been the daughter I never had." Back in the present, I realize the enormity of what she's given me. It's not just a shop, it's her legacy, her trust in me. Michael approaches, his voice low and menacing. "You won't get away with this, Sandra. We'll contest the will." I hold my ground. This was Aunt Meredith's decision. Michael, not mine. As they storm out, Mr. Simmons hands me a set of keys. "Miss Anderson also left this for you," he says, handing over an envelope. Inside there's a letter and a list of contacts. Art dealers, collectors, restoration experts. My mind spins with the possibilities. Later that week, while I'm sorting through paperwork in the shop, the bell above the door jingles. It's Thomas with a smug look on his face. "Hope you're not getting too comfortable, sis. We've hired a lawyer, Victor Reeves. He's known for overturning wills." A chill runs through me, but I stay calm. "This is what Aunt Meredith wanted, Tom. Why can't you respect that?" He scoffs. "Because it's not fair. You're not even blood related to her." His words sting, but I stand firm. Family isn't just about blood, Thomas. It's about love. As he storms out, slamming the door, I sink into Aunt Meredith's old chair. The shop feels like both a sanctuary and a battlefield now. I trace my fingers over the worn wood of the desk, feeling Aunt Meredith's presence all around me. I won't let them take this from us. I promise, I whisper to the empty room, the words hanging in the air like a vow I'm determined to keep. Days blend into weeks as I throw myself into running the shop. Every antique holds a memory of Aunt Meredith, and keeping the business alive feels like keeping a piece of her with me. It's tough, but I'm learning fast. One afternoon, the bell chimes, and in walks a familiar face. "Hi, I'm Olivia. I used to come here all the time," she says with a warm smile. We chat, and I quickly learn that she's well connected in the local business scene. "You know, Sandra," she says thoughtfully, "I think you're doing a great job here. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise." Her words boost my spirits, especially with the rumors circulating about me. Whispers of my mental state and worse. Questions about Aunt Meredith's competency when she wrote the will. I know it's my brothers stirring the pot. A few days later, I'm in the back room when I hear voices, my brothers and a man I don't recognize. "Look, Victor, we need something solid," Michael is saying. "Can you forge some documents or what?" My blood runs cold. I peek out, seeing a slick guy in an expensive suit nodding. "Leave it to me," he says confidently. "We'll make it look like your aunt wanted to sell this place." Sandra won't know what hit her. Shaking, I call Olivia. "They're trying to forge documents, Olivia." "What do I do?" She doesn't miss a beat. "We fight fire with fire, honey. Let's set up some cameras in there. Catch them red-handed." The next day, we install hidden cameras and voice recorders throughout the shop. It feels wrong, sneaky, but I'm desperate. A week passes, and as I review the footage, I strike gold. Thomas and Daniel are in the shop after hours, planting forged papers in Aunt Meredith's old desk. "Julie's going to freak when she finds these," Daniel says, laughing. "Yeah, poor, unstable Sandra," Thomas adds. "Can't handle running a business. It's for her own good, really." I feel sick, but at least now I have proof. The next day, they spring their trap. All three brothers show up, their faces etched with fake concern. "Sandra, we need to talk," Michael starts. "We're worried about you," Thomas chimes in, his voice dripping with false sympathy. "Yeah, sis, you're not sleeping, you're barely eating. This shop is too much for you." I play along, curious to see how far they'll go. "What are you saying?" Daniel pulls out some papers. "We found these in Aunt Meredith's desk. She was planning to sell the shop, Sandra. She knew it would be too much for you." I take the papers, my hands steady despite my racing heart. "Oh really? That's interesting." They exchange triumphant glances, thinking they've won. "You know," I say casually, "it's funny you should mention these papers, because I have something to show you too." I pull out my laptop and play the footage of them planting the documents, their faces drain of color. You recorded us?" Michael sputters. I stand tall, feeling Aunt Meredith's strength surge through me. "You bet I did. Now you have two choices. You can walk away and never bother me or this shop again. Or I can take this to the police. Your call." They storm out, hurling threats and insults, but for the first time since Aunt Meredith died, I feel truly in control. As I lock up the shop that night, I whisper to the quiet room, "We did it, Aunt Meredith. We protected your legacy. The battle's not over. I know that, but I'm ready for whatever comes next." Julie Anderson isn't backing down. A few days later, I'm sitting in a cozy cafe with Olivia and her friend, Detective Mia Thompson. My hands tremble slightly as I push play on the recordings. Their faces grow grim as they listen. "This is serious, Sandra," Mia says, her brow furrowed. "I can't officially investigate, but I'll look into it discreetly." Olivia squeezes my hand. "We've got your back, Honorable." Over the next few weeks, I pour myself into the shop while Mia digs deeper. One afternoon, she calls with news. "This Victor Rees character, he's got a history of shady dealings, nearly got disbarred twice." I feel a mix of vindication and disgust. "Thanks, Mia. This helps a lot." Meanwhile, Olivia's been busy too. She introduces me to Jonathan, a respected art dealer. "Sandra, your work is extraordinary," he says, examining my paintings. "How about we organize an exhibition?" The exhibition is a whirlwind of preparation and nerves, but it's a massive success. As I bask in the afterglow, I overhear a conversation that chills me to the bone. Yeah, the auction for Meredith's treasures is set for next week. Michael's voice drifts over. Panic surges through me. I immediately call Mia, who reassures me she'll be there. The day of the auction arrives, and I'm a bundle of nerves. I watch as my brothers strut in with Victor Reeves, smug and confident. They freeze when they see me. "What are you doing here, Sandra?" Thomas spits, venom in his voice. Before I can respond, Mia walks in, flanked by two officers. "Gentlemen, I think we need to talk," she says calmly. What follows is a blur. Accusations, evidence, and rapidly paling faces. Victor Reeves tries to make a break for it, but he's quickly apprehended. "You're facing disbarment and potential criminal charges, Mr. Reeves," Mia states coldly. My brothers stand shell-shocked. Michael's phone rings. It's his boss, firing him on the spot. Thomas's wife storms in, engagement ring in hand, and throws it at him before storming out. Daniel frantically tries to contact his business partners, but it's too late. They've already cut ties. As the dust settles, I feel a strange mix of sadness and relief. It's over, I whisper to myself. In the months that follow, I pour my heart into transforming the shop. Meredith's Treasures becomes a unique blend of an antique shop and an art gallery where my own work hangs alongside carefully curated pieces, each with a story to tell. 1 year later, I'm arranging a new exhibition when my phone buzzes. It's Michael. "Sandra, please. We were wrong. Can't we talk?" I take a deep breath, thinking of all the pain they caused me. "No, Michael. I've moved on. I suggest you do the same." As I hang up, my eyes fall on a photo of Aunt Meredith. I smile, feeling her presence. "We did it, Aunt Meredith," I say softly. "Your legacy lives on, and I'm finally living my dream." I turn back to my canvas, brush in hand, ready to create something beautiful. The shop bell tinkles as a customer enters, and I smile. This is where I belong. This is my victory. And as for my brothers, they're learning the hard way that karma is real. "Welcome to Meredith's Treasures," I call out, my voice strong and sure. "How can I help you today?" Sandra's journey through betrayal and triumph has come to an end, but we want to hear from you. If you were in her shoes, would you have given your brothers a second chance after their betrayal? Or was cutting ties the right decision? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective.